Have you ever been witness to an entire institution or field of work utterly discrediting itself in the eyes of the public? I think, collectively have been witnessing that these last few years, especially with the scientific community, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, to be brutally honest with you. But the nutrition world is going through this too. More and more people are waking up to the dangers of seed oils. That's just one example. Institutions that had for decades been telling us to avoid saturated fats are now quietly coming out and admitting that they were wrong about saturated fats. Media are publishing articles talking about how shoddy research has been surrounding saturated fats, and now they're no longer a big danger. The fact that they never were a big danger to us. And it's interesting to watch this because while this is happening, those institutions are oblivious to their torpedoed credibility. There are numerous examples of this, but I really just want to show you this one. This is a peer-reviewed article with the title, Efficacy and Safety of an Investigational Single-Course CRISPR-Based Editing Therapy Targeting PCSK9 in Non-Human Primate and Mouse Models. It was published in this journal called Circulation on Halloween, and there are scientists engaged in gene editing, in actual classical gene editing of living creatures to make it so their bodies absorb less cholesterol. What could possibly go wrong? Remember, we're still told that cholesterol is the big bad thing. People engaged in scientific research who should know better believe that when you eat cholesterol, it goes into your blood and then does what we are told cholesterol does, which is allegedly creates plaque walls in your arteries. That's what we're told. That's not what it does, but that's what we're told. These are scientists who should know better, but they're engaged in some of the dumbest research imaginable. And why are they doing this? Because of money. Let's take a look at the abstract of this. It's a little bit complicated, but I can explain some of this for you here. Verve 101 is an investigational in vivo CRISPR base editing medicine designed to alter a single DNA base in the PCSK9 gene, permanently turn off hepatic protein production, and thereby durably lower LDL cholesterol. We test the efficacy, durability, tolerability, and potential for germline editing of Verve 101 in studies of non-human primates and a murine F1 progeny study. What does that mean? They're testing a specific part of the DNA with the goal of turning down LDL cholesterol. Why? Because LDL cholesterol is bad. Okay. Really, when you're looking at your cholesterol, what's important is the ratio of the HDL to the LDL, but no, they want to turn down the LDL. That's what they want to do. They don't care about the ratio. They don't care what the side effect of this is probably going to be. What they're wanting to do is turn down the LDL because they have accepted the now discredited idea that cholesterol bad. They're doing this in non-human primates. Now, why are they doing that? Because they want to do that to human beings. They want this for medicine, obviously. That's the only reason you do any of these kind of studies is for medicine. Here's what they found. Verve 101 was well tolerated in non-human primates and led to an 83% lower blood PCSK9 protein and 69% lower LDL-C with durable effects up to 476 days following dosing. They followed these animals for more than a year, so it looks like about 15 months. The results have supported initiation of a first in-human clinical trial in patients with heterozygous familial hypercholesterolemia and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. They're trying this to combat cardiovascular disease. We know the best way to combat cardiovascular disease, ladies and gentlemen. We know. It's through nutrition. Get those carbs out of your system. The seed oils out. You do those two things, your cholesterol will go down in the way that's actually meaningful. The ratio will improve. Whether the total number goes up is irrelevant. The actual important ratio will improve to your favor. We know that your blood pressure will go down, your overall cardiovascular health will increase. We know this. All you have to do is spend some time in cardio or keto groups, and you see this happen. Any carnivore who's been carnivore for a while and gets their blood work done sees slightly elevated levels of of cholesterol, but overall their cardiovascular health improves dramatically. It's not a problem. And when it's there in an increase in cholesterol, it's not their bad cholesterol, so called. It's the ratio improves. Now they're doing this to human beings. Why? Because there's money in this. And let's be real. How many people do you know look at when you tell them, don't just cut out the simple carbs, you know, not even go full carnivore, but you just tell them, stop eating the bread, the pastries, stop with that stuff, eat a whole food keto diet, just get your carbs down to like 20 to 25 grams a day, and you'll be great. And they look at you like you're from Mars, like you've said the most nutty thing they can imagine. How many people do you know like that? Or even worse, you tell them to go carnivore, that there's no reason to eat any of those plants, except the spices maybe. There's no reason to eat any of them. They think you just lost the plot entirely. But then they think this is okay. Actual doing real gene editing to make it so your body will absorb less cholesterol. This is a kind of a problem here, because what cholesterol is used for is myelin health, the myelin sheathing around your nerve endings. This is for nerve ending health, and it cannot be synthesized without adequate cholesterol. This is a problem. If your body's not absorbing what it needs, you are going to run into serious problems. It's sort of like Dr. Baker shared this on Twitter recently. I want to show this to you. In the name of combating obesity, 50 years ago, people got the idea in their head that eating fat makes you fat. So we reduce the amount of fat we're eating. We're all familiar with this story. Most of us have probably done yo-yo dieting or something at some point in our life, trying to get rid of the excess body fat that accumulates, even when we were eating the amount of food the system told us we should be eating. Well, the result of that seems to have been a reduction in IQ over the last 50 years. Are they related? I don't know. Notoriously, IQ-related research is one of those things the scientific community has a very hard time getting funding for a whole lot of reasons, and they won't do it. So who knows? We might find ourselves with something similar here. We're having problems with trying to reduce cholesterol, and if they go forward with this in this medicine, are we going to see an increase in nervous system disorders in the coming decades? I don't know. It's conjecture. But I'll tell you this much: I won't be subjecting myself to this. There's no reason to. I eat a proper human diet. You do too, probably, if you're watching this. So why would you ever submit yourself to this? And this goes back to credibility. We have seen over and over again an absolute annihilation of the credibility of a lot of the researchers doing this stuff. And it's because they are funded directly. Their research is funded directly by the industries. They should be heavily regulated, but aren't nearly as regulated as they should be. As a consequence, their institutional research gets corrupted. Look at any nutrition research. All you have to do is start digging into who funds their programs. And when you find that universities, especially public ones, have to make that public. They have to let people know that, in their records, on their websites, or through Freedom of Information Act requests, you can find out who funds these things, these departments, these nutrition departments and these agriculture departments and things. And you find it almost always goes back to big food or to the industry that makes these prospective medicines. It always goes back to them. Are you going to then publish research very often that says, if you want to reduce cardiovascular disease, stop smoking, stop drinking, and stop eating carbohydrates? You going to publish that? Probably not. You're probably never going to get that research funded. And if you do get that funded, or if you have someone who publishes it, they're never going to do a follow-up article, because they never do. That's one of the things that's mind-blowing things about this, is the times you see articles in our favor in the research journals, they never get a follow-up. Why is that? Probably because someone got a call. That actually happens quite a lot more than you think. And I know this from my own time in the academic research environment. The powers that shouldn't be put their thumbs on the scales of everything. You going to try the the myelin synthesis blocking treatments that they're designing here? Are you going to do that? Are you going to take the LDL or the LDL reduction gene editing medicine that they're coming up with, according to this study here? I don't understand the logic behind this, but are you going to take this? Because I'm not. I'm gonna this it's going to be a hard pass for me. This is again from the Journal of Circulation, and the abstract and things are available on the American Heart Association Journal's website. This is all out there in the open for anybody to want to look at. Are you going to do that? Because I will not participate. Take my chances with nutritional intervention. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It really does help. Sharing this on social media helps a lot as well. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore, and thanks for your time.